Hello, beautiful friends. Hello, hello, hello. I know this is an impromptu live video, so I didn't really have a lot of time to invite everyone to it. But if you are here, if you see it pop up on your notifications and you are available to join, then come on in here. The water is delicious. So what is today? I think today is February 26th. So we're a little bit early to talk about it, but I think giving you a little bit of a heads up is the brilliance and the beauty of astrology. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about Saturn moving into the energy of Aquarius. And this is an exciting time. It's a changeable time. It's a changeable time in the world as it is in general. So this is going to add a lot of innovation to what we've got going on right now. As we continue to travel through 2020, I want you to think about a couple things or bring your attention to a couple things that are happening astrologically and therefore are a part of our new energetic patterns. One of that being that we've got Venus who's going to move into the energy of Gemini, and Venus being diplomatic, but being about the things that we value to include money, self-esteem, groupings, all of these kinds of things. Information, the information that we value will very much so be a big deal with Venus in the energy of Gemini, who we are connected and networking with, the way that we distribute information. That is what we're going to look at with the energy of Venus and Gemini, right? Now, Venus is also going to spend an extended amount of time in that energy and retrograde. And what the heck does that have to do with Saturn being in Aquarius? I promise I'm getting there. But the other thing to think about is that the nodes are going to move as well. So we see the transiting north node moving into that energy of Gemini as well. So new thinking, new learning, new information, new writing, new books, new videos. We'll see them all come out. And then that transiting south node up top is going to be in the energy of Sagittarius, right? Now, Sagittarius with that north node up there is saying, hey, detach from some of these ideas, these beliefs that you've had, some of these laws, right? Because remember, Saturn is not only a planet that we get to use personally, it's an outer planet. So it also governs our global ideas and our global business, our global structures, things in our communities and things like that. So we'll also see some unthinking, needing to rethink, getting away from patterns of the history of ourselves and our personal lives, patterns of history in the world, and needing to put new operations and new ideas into place, right? So we're going to see a lot of needing to rethink and reanalyze everything that we're doing in the years going forward. And I have to tell you, I know this is extra early, but 2025 is a time in the United States where we're going to see planets returning to specific positions that they were before, that really put us in two different thought processes here in the United States. So we'll talk more about that. I have plenty to say about that. But for today, let's jump in. Hi, some of you who have jumped in. Let's talk about this Saturn, transiting Saturn, jumping into the energy of Aquarius. Now, we're going to get a sneak peek, right? A little preview, a little taste test of what Saturn is going to actually be doing in the energy of Aquarius for each of us and at a global level. But we're going to get this taste between March 21st and July. And then Saturn is going to retrograde, come back into the Capricorn energies for a little bit. And then Saturn's going to go back into the energy of Aquarius, joining Jupiter in Aquarius as well on December 21st. And then we'll see Saturn working for about the next 2 years. So I always love a little snack, a little sneak peek, but that's very Taurus of me. Anytime I can nibble on a little something, I feel good about the world, right? So as Saturn comes into the energy of Aquarius on March 21st, which is not too far, for a couple things are going to be happening. First and foremost, if you are celebrating a Saturn return, congratulations and welcome. It is hard work to make that passage to come to this next chapter of your life. So if you're having your first Saturn return, you're around the age of 29 and a half to 30. And if you're in your second Saturn return, you're 59 and a half to 60. So if you didn't even know what a Saturn return was and you're those ages, things have likely been feeling like, hold on, this doesn't fit. How come everything I believe doesn't seem like it's on par anymore? You've definitely been having a chapter change in your life, and that's what your official Saturn return will do. Now, for some of you other friends out there, you're going to be having a Saturn square Saturn. And this is when the transiting Saturn comes into a sign, and then it's 90 degrees away from your Saturn and making an interaction. A Saturn square Saturn is saying to you, something's wrong. Something's not right here. We need to make a correction. And you might not be able to put your finger even right exactly on what it is, but something is out of alignment. And you're going to have your attention beginning to be brought to it, depending on what degree that Saturn is for you. You may be feeling it now, but certainly as we travel March to July, you may be feeling the heat of trying to put some sense to maybe what's not right. This is a course correction for you. It's not always friendly or gentle, but it is a course correction pushing you and spawning you to take some action. So it's absolutely wonderful, okay? Now, for the rest of you, if you're having Saturn come into contact with one of your angular houses, so your first house, your ascendant, your seventh house, your descendant, one of those is going to make a shift in the way that we either see you in the outside world and how you show up and what you're known as. It could bring an event into your life, or it's going to be something that creates a pretty big change in relationships for you. Now, if you have it at your midheaven or your IC at the bottom of your chart, you'll see a change to either your career or something at home in your home life. It could even be your internal psychological makeup, but these are big points and big events that this transit will definitely bring into your life, okay? So the rest of us, you're going to have to grab your chart, and if you don't have one, come get one from me. Go to astro.com, go to Cafe Astrology, do whatever you need to do. Get a chart so that you can find 0 degrees of Aquarius and know where it's happening in your chart. And let me clear this up before I move forward. Everybody has all 12 signs in their chart. You may not have a planet at that point, but you can still find 0 degrees of Aquarius and see what house that's happening for you. And that is going to be a big deal. That's going to be where the stuff is happening at. So if you have got placements or active planets at 0 to 5 degrees of either Aquarius or Leo, you're going to probably already be feeling the impact of this already. And you're going to also likely here as this begins its transit in March, be feeling the weight of it pretty heavily. You'll be a little bit more active. The later degrees may feel it down the road as Saturn officially moves in for the stay. So 0 to 5 degrees of Aquarius or Leo, you may genuinely be feeling some of that pressure or that serious mindedness on your table already. Okay, so Saturn in Aquarius, this is going to bring us into an energy of innovation and analysis, right? Remember, Aquarius is an air sign. So Saturn rules over the energy of Capricorn, and I think we all know that and we're comfortable. But in traditional astrology as well, he also shares rulership with Uranus over Aquarius. So it's not like he's moving, to hell and back or anything like that. He is still perfectly comfortable in the energy of Aquarius, but here he becomes analytical because he's got to get on board and act like the sign that he's working in. So we have serious Saturn analysis, innovation, intuition around our structures. We've got to reorder, reorganize, re-resource some things, right? Now, what are we going to look at? We're going to look at Aquarian things. We're going to look at groupings. We're going to look at causes, humanitarian beliefs, science, technology, medicine. You in your personal life may be looking at your friend groups, who you associate with, the technology that's available in your life. Is it time during this, we've just had this Pisces new moon at this particular point in the year. Is it time for you to surrender to that upgrade? What is shifting for you? We become very analytical about being future minded. Where are we going in the future? We may be surrounded as Saturn moves out of Capricorn with a lot of status quo. And Aquarius is a little bit more of a rebellious energy. It's like, well, I know that's the way that we have always done things, but what's going to happen with this combination of Gemini and Aquarian energies floating around is we're going to say, but why do we still do it that way? Right? We may have done it this way forever, but why? And is that the best system for us to be using? So in your personal life, are you feeling some of this already? Is it like, well, why do I do that? Why do I believe that? Is it just because it's what I've been told and what I've been taught? What do I? Because remember, Aquarius also wants independence. He wants your independence, your uniqueness. And then once you own that, you can take it out to the groupings that you actually fit with your tribe, right? And if you're not sure, speak your truth, speak your reality, speak your political ideas, speak your parenting ideas, speak your you out into the world that you're participating in. And the people that are not in your tribe or that you don't align with anymore, the organizations, the people, the beliefs will begin to fall from you. And it kind of is a little bit of a shedding. And then you can move forward with who you're supposed to travel with. You know, we had a moon in Leo as well that said, hey, who are you? What do you have to say? Then we've had this moon in Pisces that said, shed, let it go, bring it to culmination, because you've got to get ready with this Aries new moon to step into being you and your voice and your beliefs so that you can have the appropriate tribe to surround you, so that you can align with the right kind of organizations and causes. And that's exactly what Saturn in Aquarius is going to do for us. He's going to say, let's look at this level of connection we have with things. Let's look at the information we have and that we share with other people. Let's restructure, let's reorganize, let's make some new boundaries on things. And remember, this is going to be global as well. So this is going to be a big deal for all of us, okay? Now, a couple things that are going to happen. First of all, as Saturn comes into the energy of Aquarius on March 21st, cool, we've got that transition that happens. And whenever a planet is moving or stationing any direction, this is always when it's a little bit more intense. So as it comes into that 0 degree, it could be a day of intensity. You could find yourself feeling a little bit more serious or serious-minded. Then just a couple days later, Mars is going to come into the energy of Aquarius as well. Right? We're going to see Mars over there with Saturn. Now you're busy. So don't be surprised if you come to the end of March, which, by the way, you know, we kind of come out of hiding in March. We have permission for some serious forward action. The world is open again. So it is definitely going to be a busy time, especially as Mars starts traveling with Saturn. Now, what you're likely not going to do is have this massive awakening, right? What's been happening is you've been having this shift of you, this shift of information, something new, something innovative, something intuitive has been coming through. And when Mars and Saturn get together, you may be able to take a couple steps forward. But ultimately, I think the big ta-da of what that looks like for you comes a little bit closer to 2021, which is why I'm so excited for 2021. Now, the other thing that's going to happen as Saturn comes into Aquarius is it is going to square up. It's not an exact square, not until we get towards the end of the year, with Uranus, who's in Taurus. This is a big deal because Uranus and Aquarius are both fixed energies. However, Taurus, as the fixed energy, is kind of the only unsupported energy, right? Because you think about it, Saturn and Uranus both rule Aquarius. So Aquarius kind of has the upper hand here, which is brilliant. And it needs to happen because Taurus, and I'm a Taurus, so God help us, we're a slower, fixed energy that does not like to pry our hands off of whatever we're doing, whether we're stopped or we're going. We don't like to let go. That's the nature of fixed energy. So as these two energies square each other, and it's not exact, remember, so it's just a little like it's given us a taste. It's all taste test between March and July, okay? So as these two come together like that, what we're going to start to experience is this idea where we go, wait a minute, I have got to shake out. I have got to break free. You may be experiencing a personal rebellion. You may be experiencing this energy where you're like, no, I'm serious. I need to work for myself. No, I'm serious. This relationship is not the right path for me. Or no, I'm serious. Let's get in. You're innovating. There is a full on break free innovation, and it is about aligning with what you believe and what you value. What is your value system? Does it need to be restructured? Does it need to be reorganized? You will feel this clash of where you're going and where you're at, where you've been and where you're at, come into a little bit of a tense here. And that's okay. We need that tension to be propelled forward to take action. If you think back when we were talking about February and I got completely excited about Jupiter and Neptune and that connection, that was about realigning, rethinking your ideals. What are the ideals that you are ready to have guide your life, right? You can decide the ideals, and that helps you know if you're living them. But then you've also got to relook and innovate some structures in order to uphold those. At a global level, we know we are restructuring a lot of things out there in the world. Saturn in Aquarius is also going to bring new thought, new experimentation. There's a lot of experimentation available in March and all the way to July. We're going to see thoughts about things that have traditionally just been in place, right? We're going to rethink our laws. We're going to have new conversations about our cultures, about our communities. If you think back to, let's go into the 2012 time frame and then come forward. Think 2012 and forward for me. We see Uranus and Pluto come into a square with each other. And whenever this happens, it's like it takes the vibration of an entire culture, an entire kind of global view, and it trashes it, right? And what it has to do is it has to trash it and move it and say, hey, these ideals don't fit anymore. We need to raise our vibration, and these are going to be the new guiding ideals. But first, what happens in that is we see a lot of people going, oh, wait a minute, I was raised in a really strong Christian house, and now I feel called to something bigger. I feel like maybe astrology, maybe tarot, maybe I don't want to be an accountant anymore. Maybe I really want to move into massage therapy. We see a lot of moving towards the healing arts. We see a lot of moving towards things that are going to be new guiding principles of our next generations, right? The vibration is raised. Now, when you want to think about this, I think about it in terms of what can I relate to. So Pluto and Uranus squared. And one of the last times they did this, we abolished slavery. We got a whole new idea, right? The last time it happened, what did we do? You could be black, white, purple, green, gay, straight, trans, everything else, and get some insurance, right? Like you and your partner could get some insurance. We started to make very big cultural idea changes out in the world, right? Now we're going to take Saturn in Uranus and say, hold on. We've got some experimenting with our laws, with our governments, with my home life, with myself, with my own work. We're going to need to break free from what has been and start to see what's supposed to be next. And in that square with Uranus and Taurus, we say, hey, detach here. That north node or that south node transiting Sagittarius says, let go of what you thought it had to be, of what you thought you had to be. And let's put some information in here and see if this can guide us forward. At the same time, it will be a beautiful place. There will be many different stops that come along for Saturn to interact with other energies that say, hold on, that thing from the past is actually still very useful. Hold on to that. And some things we're going to see are not. So it's very, very interesting time. And I think that the changes that happen just in the nature of Saturn energy are deep. They are deep. They are transformational. They are purposeful, right? But they are also something that like has to happen. We've got to have a catalyst to be willing to make different decisions and having different conversations. So we will definitely see that as we're here in 2020. Now, again, as Saturn does this dance from March until July 1st and then heads retrograde back into the energy of Capricorn, we're not going to see him come back intact into the Aquarian energy until December 21st. And this is when Saturn and Jupiter are going to come together in the energy of Aquarius, and they set the stage, right? So if you look at them as a whole, just in their cycle together, they're going to set the stage for the next 20 years of what we're going to do, the way we're going to make decisions, the way our cultures are going to run forward. There's also going to be, in that 20 years, we get to 2025, and we're going to start to see divisions happening in the world. We have some different ideas going, right? Every 5-year cycle with Saturn. So, but about 20 years, but really, the expanse of this goes about 200 years. We're setting the stage for the next 200 years with Saturn and Jupiter as the rulers of the new age. So this is an exciting time. It's an exciting time for all of us. There are major astrological themes, which I'll continue to cover with you guys, that we're going to walk through, but we're going to realize that from a personal level to a global level, it's time for different conversation. And it's not that we don't know that that's happening already. It's that now is when we're going to be able to start doing that. We have got an election here in the United States, not to mention there's things with the census. There are other things going on with Congress. There is a lot happening that is letting us watch the astrology play out right in front of us in a political, economic, global sphere. Not to mention Uranus is still in the energy of Taurus. So we know that our values around money, we know that our values around connections to relationship, our values of our own personal self-esteem, these are all highly in question right now as to what is the right fit. And here's the other part that I find truly, truly interesting is that I don't know that anybody at this point has the exactly right answer, right? We have a culture that is changing out there, and we're going to have to watch and experiment and see and let these jolts of electricity and genius connection that comes with the energy of Aquarius walk us forward to what's next. Now, we do know certain things are going to just be what they are, right? It's like, hey, if you're walking with some integrity to the very best of your ability, if you're walking in honesty, right? These are things that are going to help us along for sure, but we are going to rethink, reanalyze, restructure, and reorganize a lot of our thinking, a lot of the way that we communicate. We're going to also restructure our organizations as well. Jupiter is in the energy of Capricorn, not out until the end of the year, but even as Jupiter jumps into Aquarius, which is again still a Saturn ruled energy, we're going to relook at laws. We're going to relook at educational institutions. We're going to relook at international business, which we can already see that going on, right? So there is a lot that comes with this, but in a personal way, I hope that you are beginning to question what makes you you. I hope you are beginning to feel the shed of putting down, things that maybe you thought about yourself, things maybe you were too afraid to do, things that have kept you in hiding, so that you can step forward, especially as we get ready to come into Aries season. It's like, let's go. We've been gathering information, working, doing the rituals, praying, doing all of the other stuff. Hell, we've even had a retrograde. So now let's go. And that's what we're going to get ready to do. So hopefully this helps you get a little bit prepared for Saturn moving into the energy of Aquarius. Located on your chart, just look for 0 degrees of Aquarius on your chart, and that is where Saturn is going to move into. Look at the house, and that will tell you the area of life it's going to start to make some work for you to do. And what the work feels like, to be very, very clear, is that the work starts to feel a little heavy. You start to feel very serious about what you're doing. You're being serious minded about it. Maybe you feel like you're taking on larger issues or larger obligations or something like that, because Saturn is coming to raise you. He's coming to bring some maturity to the table. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is, even if you have a split house, let's say you're not using whole sign, and so you have a split house, like using Placidus or something. If you've got Capricorn and Aquarius in the same house. Saturn will have worked through the energy of Capricorn, of course, because then it's going to jump to 0 degrees of Aquarius. But even if it is in the same house, you need to pay attention to that 0 degrees of Aquarius because it is a different sign. So the actual characteristics you're going to be using to get work done in the exact same house are going to be very, very different. So let me give you an example of that just really quickly in your thinking, right? So let's say that you share Capricorn and Aquarius downstairs, down below in your 4th house, right? So maybe Capricorn was bringing a lot of structure to your home. Maybe you moved, you bought a home, you fixed things that were in the home. It was very structural, very, very concrete. As Saturn now in the exact same 4th house begins to work in the energy of Aquarius, maybe you do things like you're having people over, you join a parenting group, you rewire your house for technological things, you have a technology upgrade, you become serious about causes that have to do with your house, right? So you're going to become more serious minded with the characteristics and qualities of an Aquarius at that time. So I just want to give you a little bit to think about or to breathe in as this time approaches for us, because I would love to know. Please let me know. I know this video will post, so put it in the comment sections down below, but let me know what's changing for you. Where are you having your break free moment? And some of that break free moment right about now in this time frame, now to about the 16th of March, you may actually be in a little bit of resistance, or you're tired, you feel slow. So all of that will lead you up to your break free moment. So let me know what that is down below in the comment section. And I'm sorry it was an impromptu live. I didn't have time to schedule it, but I so appreciate you guys being here with me. And thank you for all of the support with all of the stuff going on. Thank you for your patience as I am learning this lighting in the video stuff. I look forward to bringing you guys the things that I have learned in that arena as well. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone, and happy birthday. I did see you. Happy birthday. All right. Bye.